Footy's back. That's right. G'day, I'm Peter Matera of the beloved West Coast Eagles of the 90s. No, I'm not. I'm Jaymz Clements and I'm the host here of AFL Today, your one-stop shop for all things AFL footy. It's a bit of fun as well, isn't it? I'll tell you. Joining me for the, oh my God, bloody round 5 is done. This season is flying by already. It's like we have such a desert in the middle of the over summer. Footy's back, and then boom, it's round 5 before you can blink. And joining me, of course, as usual, it's a couple of footy nuffs, full-blown nuffs, a couple of weirdos, lunatics, AFL experts. Alex Donnelly over there.
How good's a bye week? Absolutely love it.
You don't have to worry about Sydney.
I didn't have to stress. Oh. My heart rate average this weekend was 87. It was great.
Yeah, nice.
Put 100 in front of that, and that was mine yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That sucked. And giggling along there is the stats guy. What's going on, stats guy?
Nothing to giggle about.
Life's all right. Just other than North Melbourne. I wish we had a bye. Can we have just a bye week because we're crap?
North Melbourne got pumped, and the team you play for literally got pumped.
It was an honorary pumped yesterday for my team that I play for, but North was horrible. So yeah, a bit sad about that. I feel like also we just got back from gather round. Now round 5's done. So that was like a blink.
Going to a game on Thursday night. It's like I've literally been to 8 games of footy.
Yeah, exactly.
How good it's footy.
Yeah, what the hell?
I'm just more concerned about your, I don't know, emphasis on honorary pumpings.
Yeah.
But either way, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow AFL Today across all the socials. It's Sports Today Show as well on the old Facey. And get around this, of course, wherever you get your podcasts. Like, subscribe, and star them all. And get around all the other shows that we do. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Footy's back. We're talking footy. Round 5, gentlemen. The quick look.
Yep.
Actually, some close games this week.
Yeah.
That was fun, apart from one of them that I was at with my 5-year-old squid.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I was having a great time.
That stunk. I was sitting there, surrounded by the Carlton cognoscenti. Unbeknownst to me, I'm like, oh, that's like all the famous people.
I didn't know you were there, actually. That's even more heartbreaking. Yeah.
Yeah, it sucked. Taking a 5-year-old to a game, and he's like, we always win, don't we? I'm like, no. No, we do.
How did he enjoy his day?
Did he get a hot dog?
Maybe twisties?
This is very simple when you have a 5-year-old and you take him to footy.
Yeah.
Hot dog,
Yep.
twisties, water, keep him entertained.
That sounds like my day of footy as
iPad
well.
at any stage?
Yeah.
No iPad.
No.
Nice, I respect
To be
that.
honest, he lasted till the 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter until he went, Dad, can we go home?
When it's like 1 point, it's probably 1 point the scoreline at that point.
I came pretty close going, I might catapult you off level 2.
Have you ever seen a baby fly? Wait, what?
He's not a baby. He's a big boy. Anyway, the other ones, look, it was a weird week in terms of results.
Literally just topped off 30 seconds ago.
Yep.
West Coast are on the board. We talked about, we went into this week going, already the 0-4 team's going to win. And 2 of them did, which is kind of cool and
Not
kind of
my
weird.
team.
And then one of the winless teams will have won a game next week as well.
Yep. Unless they
Hawks
tie.
and,
Unless they tie.
I bet you we draw because you said that now.
It's going to be so funny when Stats Guy comes in to do this show this time next Sunday
and we've
night.
had a draw.
And he's just punching
No,
walls.
to be fair, this is how sad our season's gone at the moment. I'll take a draw. That's a point on the board.
pathetic.
That is pretty pathetic, isn't it? But I'll take a draw.
That is very sad. That's like the weirdest feeling in the world. Just like, what do I do with my hands?
That's
Yeah.
why I still back overtime in all sports.
To be honest, I'm all right with
Yeah.
that. Ties, not everyone should be a winner. But it was a weird week for results. Obviously, the Jet West and Kilda game was bad, then awesome.
Yeah, just at the end,
Like,
yeah.
what is going on? Essendon came from the clouds, smashed the Dogs, and Brisbane now win at the MCG apparently. So let's get into it, shall we?
Why not?
With Sesh. Easy one this
I
week.
think they just need to single the camera on Jim.
To be fair, I'm happy to rant about this
Let
as well.
Jim go. I'll add to it, but let Jim go.
I don't mind that.
There's a very simple thing, I think, when you're being paid to do something. Just do your job. If you're a goal umpire, I don't know, don't tell some bloke up in a box to go, can you do my job for me? Because I'm not sure about how to do my job. Just do your job. It's not hard. The ball either went across the line and didn't touch something on the way there, or it didn't. It's not hard. It's not rocket surgery. The goal is a goal or it's a point.
Yeah.
Your job is literally to decide that, not go, I'm not sure. Help! I need an adult. Like, what are we doing at this point? We just had a West Coast Richmond game that went to the
17
box
scoring.
about 18 million times.
The game genuinely lasted 3 hours.
Carlton Adelaide was just, look, and I think this is my entire point when it comes to this. We at Gather Round last week went to 6 of the 9 games.
Yeah.
At the ones that we're at, every single time it went to a review,
Everyone's
the
like,
crowd's like, are you kidding?
Well, it takes it away from the goal celebration as well. You got even like Dersma, for example. I know a lot of people don't like his bow and arrow. He had to do his bow and arrow the other night, and there's like score review. He just did a cool celebration. Just let it go.
No, that's great. That's like the Richarlison doing the chicken dance.
The pigeon. The pigeon.
It's like, go on out, suck it, Richarlison.
The thing is, it's not, I feel like, you're putting basically being perfect in the way of being good.
But it's
And we
also,
always know that that's a
they're
bit
all
of a problem.
scared of doing what they did last year in the
Adelaide,
Swans
Sydney,
Adelaide
yeah.
game.
Yeah, of course.
But you know what? You managed to do it again because that Matt Owie shot was a goal. So this is what I think the goal umpires sometimes forget. If the ball goes through for a goal, when the ball's going back to the centre in that 45 seconds to a minute, no. They do. That you can review it.
Yeah.
They do review it just in case there's been a hand in there, and then they might go, "Hey guys, just wait. We're gonna look at this one. Hold on."
Well, if you just explain the Premier League how they do it, Alex. So we love world football do it where they keep playing, then they go, "Hang on, we've just got word in that it actually needs to be changed," and they could easily do that.
Unless you're the referee in the Champions League game between Bayern Munich and Arsenal.
No, okay,
you
sure.
just run off.
It's not bloody football today, all right? So
I'm just saying that we can learn something from that.
Very simply, just do your job.
Yeah,
But
like, that's
not.
all it is.
There
They're
was
not
one
doing your job.
today in the.
They're running scared. They're running scared, and it's taking away from the game.
Yep.
And it shouldn't be this difficult. Where the AFL's come in and tried to fix a problem that I don't think existed. Like they were like, we need to check this every single time, and then before gather round, they're like, we need to make an emphasis on this. We did not need to make an emphasis of it.
It's like the cricket thing. It's there for the howler. It's not there.
Exactly.
Like it's like, we need to check if this ball was marked over the line, and then they throw it up on
like
the screen,
3 meters over,
and it's like 30 centimeters over, and you're like, and the
What were you
goalpost-
looking at to not decide?
But he's also in the perfect view, going,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's in their heads. They're running scared.
Yeah.
They are,
and it's
yeah.
actually making it way worse because they're like, oh God, if I don't do this right, I'm cooked. And then they just don't do it right anyway, and we'll just have to check it. And he's like, well, this is now just turning into review centres. And it sucks.
I did enjoy the boundary umpire who blew for a throw in on Friday night. The ball genuinely looked like it was in, but he's like, no, that's out. I was like, yes!
I'm pretty sure it's out. It's like, yes, it's out. All right, let's do some game wraps. Back to Thursday. This feels like about 87 years ago. Melbourne,
Yep.
they lost to Brisbane
Yeah.
at the MCG, 60-82.
Crazy.
D's looked cooked.
The
Clayton
scoreline
Oliver,
flattered them.
Yeah.
Clayton
100%.
Oliver looked more cooked than one of my old man's steaks. It's like, dunk, dunk, dunk.
Bit overcooked.
Jeez, Neil, what have you done here? That kind of vibe.
Why did he play?
He would look fantastic. He had like just basically an offense of Brisbane that just clicked all at once really early, and the D's were running ragged after that. And Clay probably shouldn't have played.
He looked sore, and they're like, oh, he was desperate to play tonight, and they're going to, he's going to have surgery after this to get ready for the Anzac Day Eve game. It's like, he offered nothing. Like, he would have been more worthwhile not playing and having someone from the twos come in and
He
play
didn't want a
full game.
handball. It's because he's got a busted hand.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, checks out.
Well,
So
when
don't play him.
Clary and Petrarca aren't firing for the D's, obviously that doesn't help. They actually played really well against them, the Lions, just to match up really well.
Dornicus was great.
But the forward line, North almost played them into form. The forwards are like, oh yeah, we can go kick like 3 goals each, and then they did it again 2 weeks in a row.
Can we do these ones?
Oh.
Have a cry. Have a cry. Have a cry.
What are we crying
That's a new
about?
segment. They have a
Have a
segment.
cry. I was going to have this in the why I can't stand. And the why I can't stand is everybody get on their high horse. It's like, to be honest, the cry thing, it's not a great look. It's a bit dumb.
Oh, that.
yeah.
I forgot.
Handsworth, wasn't it?
The background in
petty.
normally that it's
Ironically,
nothing, but
it's very
the
petty.
background to that is
The
bad.
background
Yeah.
to it to being petty. And like everybody going, I think they were all arguing. I think everybody has argued, oh, don't do that. I don't feel like too many people were going, get him. Yeah, got him. Yeah, sucked in.
Yeah.
The background of that sucks. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I think if you do that, have a cry in any other context is probably fine. This was a bit of a weird
It's like
one.
when Luke Parker to the Essendon blokes did the ducking motion like they were scared. That was fun.
That's good.
Yeah. Good banter.
That's good.
Side note, Melbourne's forward line, what were they doing? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
When Petty didn't get a kick till the last quarter. Him, Brown and Fritsch had 11 touches between them.
Fritsch looked good early and then just went
but he had
absolutely MIA.
He had 2 possessions in the first quarter. So, he's like, oh, yeah, nah.
Fritsch
Fritsch is the
goal,
biggest.
but that was
he's
it,
a good
right?
player, but he loves junk time goals. He got a couple of goals at the end, which will help his stats. And they go, oh, you look back on it.
He kicked 2.
You got kicked, yeah, but were they both at the end, or was
No,
there one at the
kicked one in the
start?
first
Kicked one in the first
But
quarter, looked up
anyway,
and about, and then it all went to hell.
I don't know. I don't think he's a very consistent player.
My biggest issue with this Melbourne team is Jacob Van Rooyen playing in the ruck as a backup to Gorney. he's getting battered by these
he's not
big
a ruck,
grizzly men.
Yeah.
He's a second-year forward, and you're going to cook him by playing him in the ruck.
This is a great game because we get two awesome angles in this.
Yeah.
Brisbane back? Yes.
Yeah, I get.
They've just won at the G. They hadn't won 14 or 15 times there.
The last team
awesome.
they beat was the D's, who they pumped in a final.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just better than Melbourne when they play at the
Well,
G.
they're moving all their home games now to the G because they can't win in the Gabba.
Very smart.
Yeah,
that was a good one. Did you have that written on the back of your hands?
No, you say that every time. I got some. I got some.
Yeah,
I
check
got
it
some.
out.
Yeah, check.
The other one is Melbourne.
Are they cooked?
Are they cooked?
No,
this
they
just
look-
feels like
I think they look tired. They were like the Swans last week in the West Coast game, really hanging out for the bye.
Yeah. That's what
They've got Richmond on Anzac Day Eve. If they can't beat Richmond on Anzac Day Eve, that's when they go, hold on, something's not
Well, we're
working
saying how
here.
good they were winning 2 games in Adelaide. You can have a blip. It's the AFL. It's so close this season.
They honestly look tired. They threw everything at Port. They were tied in the last quarter against Adelaide, and then it's caught up to them on Thursday night. It was 3 games in 12 days.
I think they'll be fine. Yeah.
Good on Brisbane. They look back. Now they can get rolling. Big test against Geelong this weekend.
that's right. Brisbane, I think, that combination of Chucky, Hipwood. When Hipwood's firing, they're a completely different team.
Yeah, or
right?
when he can actually kick
It's
straight.
because he's taking marks up the ground and he can dish off. It's,
Joey D was playing up the ground as well. Hipwood, they just kept alternating. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
So good win for Brisbane. In terms of the way that the ladder has now fallen for Brisbane, it feels like their sort of slow start, same as Collingwood, right? It doesn't really matter.
No, it's
To
so
a degree.
early. They're 10th, but
Because,
it doesn't matter really.
They're a game out of the 8.
2 and 3.
They're 2 and 3.
They'll take
And
that.
it's same as just basically everybody else at this point. So,
Yep.
so that's fine. Friday, Bulldogs Essendon, a bit of a barn burner. This one, 96-67. It was back and forth, and then Essendon ran over the top of them. Bevo really bevoed this one.
Did you see?
He bevoed not just
It's our new
Sanders.
segment.
It is.
who got bevoed.
We need to,
Bevoed
tag that,
Sanders,
Gerald.
but he also bevoed
McRae.
seemingly Libba.
No, he didn't do it.
McRae, just everybody.
No, he did
in the
bevo.
team.
He did bevo by going, it was just an ankle injury.
I thought it
It's
was his
like,
ankle. It's like,
You don't collapse like that if you've got a sore ankle.
Yeah.
you collapse like that when
it
you've had
wasn't
about
concussion.
18 beers and you're sort of just going, no, just lay
No,
down.
but it's also
Just need to lay down a second.
when the dude boxes Homer in the ring and they can't punch him. Homer just goes,
Yeah, dink. Yeah.
So-
Bevo as well. Did you guys see him in the box? I don't know if you were watching on was it Friday night? He was sweating profusely. Literally looked
What,
like
night
in
on
the
Friday?
third quarter, he's like, my job's gone. Oh my God. And he's literally dripping. It looks like he came out of a shower. Yeah.
It's my long-standing theory that Bevo is not a good coach who got a miracle flag, and then I had people yelling at me on the internet going, but the year we made the grand final on COVID, I was like, so he's had 2 good years out of 9 full ones that he's completed. He's never finished in the top 4. He's got a winning percentage of 56 as a coach. As a note, Scott at Geelong, 72%. John Longmire goes at over 60.
Scott at Geelong at the start had an amazing. Yeah.
John Longmire.
No, he's a great coach.
65%.
And he's had a lot more games as well. Yeah. No, I agree.
Now,
with
do
that.
Michael Voss.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's
Of course.
He's
The
had
Dogs-
this list, and
I think he was a good coach at the start, and now he's in his own head. He's like, I got to do all these
I
changes.
think he was the right dude that came along for the culture to be like, yeah, we're getting this club back on track. And as a man manager, but now as a tactician, he's got nothing.
Yep.
They looked up and about early. Jamara Ugle-Hagan was tearing it
It wasn't
up.
his fault.
They should have been 6 goals in front at halftime.
They completely cooked it, I thought. I'm like, what are they doing? This is not...
They were behind at halftime when they should have been well in front. And then Essendon just went, we're still in front. Okay, we're going to go win now.
Yeah.
And that's,
Just give it to Jakey Stringer for
I
some
feel
more
like,
magic.
we're
and away we
talking
go.
down the Bulldogs more than we should. I think Essendon played really, really well in this
Yeah.
game. You got Durham was amazing. I think you wrote down here that he tag bombed, but he was
That
getting
was
more
neat.
touches. He's getting more clearances than all the Bulldogs mids. It was unbelievable, Durham. Yeah.
Durham was awesome in the
Yeah.
last quarter as well. There's just the way that they sort of went back and forth. There was a Harrison Jones, I think, in that fourth quarter as well, snagged it. And you're like, oh my God, they're actually going to win this.
so
Yeah.
one of my best mates, I went for a run with him Saturday morning. And he's
do you run?
Yeah, but mad Essendon fan. So talked out the game with him. And he's like, it was great. He's like, there are still so many things going wrong with this team.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about
No, there's heaps are wrong with Essendon to the point where how many games have they played this year? 5.
Yeah.
How many games have they had less scoring shots than the other team?
all of them.
5.
Yeah.
And they're 3-2.
And he's
That's
like-
absolutely ridiculous. They've won 3 games where they've had less scoring shots than the other
that's
team.
crazy.
He's talking about how their defense still isn't where it should be with the bunch of injuries that they've got there. Also,
Ridley
still
out,
no
yeah.
2-meter Peter at the moment, who comes back from suspension in another week or 2.
Yep.
Then there's also Darcy Parish again, just going backwards, shuffling the ball around, not knowing what he's
Just
doing.
like his hairline.
Yeah, it's just there seems to be a football team there, but because it's Essendon, they'll find a way to not do it.
They did well, though. They did well. Contract year, Jake Stringer, like we say
Contract
every
year.
week. He is
Well,
unbelievable.
Carl
at the
Langford got in the game finally.
Langford was
Langford was really
He
good as
great.
well.
Alan Davey Jr. with some speed in the forward line.
Tricky part, I think, for the Dogs, obviously, they're going to sit Libba because that's the sort of, in terms of actual news, like he went into the concussion protocol.
Yeah.
And it's like, a little bit belated. I don't know what we're doing here.
They did it yesterday.
Well, they don't know what it is, so they've just gone concussion because I don't.
If you fall like that,
it's the exact right thing to do. Like, don't get me wrong. Put him in the concussion protocol. What happened leading up to that, though? Like,
don't
what
come
is
out and
going
say
on?
it's an ankle injury.
That was chaos.
It was a bit weird
in the press conference.
Because you got to be careful. I don't know. You guys remember Vickery
last year?
Or Vickery, I think it was about 3 years ago when they had a practice match, an intra-club, and Vickery's gone up for a mark, but the ball's down the other end. And then he's collapsed on the field. I don't know if you guys. So and that was 5 days after he got concussed.
I don't watch practice games as a rule.
No, it was just on the news and all that.
I think that's not his point, Alex.
Yeah. All my point was that you got to be careful because I didn't even know that was a thing until that happened. That you can have concussion things 5 days later.
Delayed concussion.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible.
That's what's happened to Paddy. It's what made Paddy McCann retire, and apparently Murphy from Collingwood is. That's going to happen to him. He's going to have to retire.
Horrible.
Brutal. Anyway, good win for Essendon. In the end, 96.
It's just like Essendon win, and you find ways to not validate it.
Yeah, I've got 8 Essendon mates that never go to any of the games, and we always bag it. They all went to this game, and I've never seen so many messages. It's
my entire point for this is, so they lost last week, Essendon, to Port. We were at that game. Really good first quarter. They then played 3 horrible quarters. They played a horrible first quarter this week. They played 1 horrible game in between that, across 2 games. And they've somehow won one of those games.
Is that like
That's all Essendon is right now. They've had one bad game.
To be fair, it's the same as
against the Swans, 1 horrible last quarter, 2 horrible quarters against St Kilda, and then still 1.
It's weird. It's chaos. Like
It's Essendon.
We'll talk about defensive midfield in a second when I talk about Carlton, but geez. Essendon really still big question marks.
Well, they've got to
get wins on.
They've got a decent draw coming up too. Like it's like they can very easily all of a sudden, if their draw goes the way, they could be 5-2 after 7 games.
That's unbelievable.
Carlton will be like 4-5, and it'll be hilarious. GWS snuck by St Kilda 80-79. Chaos at the end. Sam Taylor got cleaned up. That was brutal. We had a 9-minute stoppage.
Was gross.
It was not fun to watch. It was weird because you had Kingsley sort of bring everybody around at the stoppage as well, which is like very much an NFL sort of thing to do. It's like a big injury.
It's a soccer thing too.
And they bring everybody in. AFL, it doesn't happen very often to the point where the commentator's like, are they allowed to do that?
Well, yeah, that was weird.
Like Callion was like, they do it in the AFLW, so yes.
They do actually. I've done it before, but very, very rarely.
Yeah, well, because you don't usually have a break that long. And also the fact that the incident happened so close to the boundary line added to it as well.
I don't mind it. Yeah.
Caniglio also had a really tough-looking knee injury, but it seems like it was all clear in the end, which is pretty weird.
Not an ACL.
Yeah,
I forgot to put in. They don't know what King's done for St Kilda either.
Yeah, so
they thought it was bad, and then
it turns out he's okay as well.
Yeah. Hopefully.
So it was a weird game where GWS had like all the run.
They were home.
It was done, cooked, pack her up, boys, and then St Kilda just went, not just yet, sound, and kapow. You're like, what is going on here?
It wasn't a great spectacle until the last 10 minutes. Let's be honest.
So you had basically Sinclair and just everybody sort of causing, like Sinclair and Higgins, wasn't it, coming right out of nowhere.
Steele was fantastic.
Marshall was amazing. 28 touches, 25 hit out, 16 clearances as a ruckman.
My man Briggsy got
I love watching Roll Marshall.
And Caminiti was awesome. So GWS, look, to win games like this is important.
They're unbeaten.
Yeah, you want to just keep winning. That's all. Just keep winning. Just keep winning. That's what it's all about. So good on them. But I don't know, this Saints team just has me discombobulated.
This will be very interesting to see now. Like last year, GWS had a massive flat patch when Sam Taylor missed like 10 weeks with a hammy.
He's a massive out.
He came back in late in the season and they just went,
Don't get me wrong, not rooting for injuries, but I'm stoked that we're playing GWS next week.
Yeah, I know. That helps Harry and Charlie, doesn't it? Yeah.
Anyway, so GWS undefeated.
Whitfield's really good.
St Kilda, good but bad. But
no, it was a classic St Kilda game though. It was Ross going defense. We didn't let GWS score their usual 120 points a game. Oh crap! Got to play offense.
But it's like you get to 84 out of 5, you're probably going to win. This is one of them.
Yeah.
Saints 2-3. Carlton 2-point losers to Adelaide. 198.
Oh, that's hilarious.
What did you say, Stats?
I was just looking at that score. I was like, this is
you
so
want to look in the
funny.
eyes of a 5-year-old boy. So disappointed.
He was happy with his hot
used to
dog.
disappointment by this stage.
No, he hasn't watched enough disappointment.
Exactly. He's been around for the good days.
Like my disappointment levels, like they take a lot to get filled now.
But
his disappointment levels just like shoot through the roof with like a 1 loss. I'm like, buddy, we need to sort this out.
There was a time when you lost 18 games in a year.
Twisties.
I know what that's about.
Twisties at Southern Cross Station afterwards, he was fine.
That's what I do after North games as well. Cheers, mate.
Also, a couple of tins and me. Look, when you're there with the kids, you're not drinking that much. You have a couple of sneaky tins, you hang out, just loose enough to just go. The heart rate is through the roof.
Have you got the Coke sleeve that goes over your beer or something like that?
Doesn't go that far.
And heart rate was through the roof, and you're like, yeah, the once always missed the snag.
When he kicked fresh air.
Outside of the boot, stubbed his toe, cooked it.
You're like, oh, no.
Literally everybody's like, that might have been the game. Because it was like Carlton had two really amazing chances right at the end to basically seal it. They cooked both of them. And then when I think Tex had sent the ball spiraling into the forward 50, two Blues are underneath it, thinking that it was out on the full. They ran into each other. Zach Williams got pushed into the other Carlton player, and then it went back in for their first, I think, of the 3 goals that Adelaide kicked. You're like, yeah, pack her up. They're somehow going to cook this. And they did. So
they did.
I think the biggest thing for me is Carlton sloppy with the ball. It's like all their problems came home to roost all at once. Lack of defensive midfield pressure without Adam Chera, without Adam Sard.
Yep.
And we also lost Mitch McGovern during the game as well. So Chera was before the game rubbed out, and he could really, really feel his loss. Like the lack of class on the outside when you've got Kennedy, Hewitt,
McGovern
Cripps.
went down as well.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Walsh was amazing.
Walsh was fantastic coming back in his first game.
Yep.
But it was like not having someone like Chera who has these moments where just the poise makes actually like 3 or 4 times
Rather
a game.
than the guys getting in there, just getting out quickly. Kick it out. Yeah.
Like Chera's just like, it's fine. We're just going to hit a target. We're going to hit a target, and it makes a huge difference like many times a game. In his place, it had like, I think I messaged you guys, Blake Acres might have been throwing that game at points like, what is it?
He got a lot of it.
That was the worst turnovers I've ever seen in person. I'm like, what on earth was that?
That sounded like the Demons when they were going for it on Thursday night. Like the crowd would go, oh, it was so funny.
Harry Mackay was up and about early.
You said Harry McGate was on.
Well, he kicked 2 in the first, 8-10 minutes. It was awesome. Yeah. And he even went going straight in front, he went around his body, still snagged it, and then played much more up the ground. The problem was we played Tex Walker back into our form, which was horrible. And he was clunking goals from 50 metres out. Whereas Charlie Curnow had, I think, 2 different shots from around the same spots as Tex. Missed them both. And
he still got 4, Charlie.
I think the biggest problem was you had 28 scoring shots to 20.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah,
they kicked awesomely. Like Rochelle, Rankine, Tex were all fantastic. Fogarty was nowhere to be seen. Their midfield, I think, look, their hardball gets Crouch was actually really good in the last 10 minutes.
So he got suspended.
Soligo was good. So he surprised me this season.
Was fantastic.
Look what I said, give Soligo the ball. Give Soligo the footy. Give him some spunk.
Carlton Roy is going to lose one of these games like that, and it just sucks that it came up against a team I'm not entirely convinced are that good.
We haven't even talked about who kicked the match. Sam Berry. He was the sub. He's like, I'll have to be the sub again. And then he's kicked the match winner, and awesome.
He was really good. He came from nowhere and did that too.
I just want to point out Matt Crouch had less than 10 metres gained per possession.
Yeah, that's all right, but he was still very good.
He was pretty good though. He was good in the clearances.
There's a difference between stats like that and watching.
He's not in the team for metres gained.
The ball is in it's in the.
He'll get a little handball.
It's maybe not so much in the air, but it's in doubt what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And Crouch, I think about 4 times in that last quarter was just there.
And he's strong over the footy.
We've got the ball.
Yeah.
And if your team has the ball, sometimes you know what? That's important. And so they would sort of run on and go from bang.
If you kick the match when I was going to ask Sam Berry, does that mean you automatically should get picked for the next game?
No.
Probably.
As the sub?
Yeah.
Sorry, not as the sub, as an on-field player.
You get on the field.
I reckon that's a good argument.
Well, in mind, Matt Crouch has got a week for that bump.
Oh, yes.
Which I feel like they'll challenge.
Sure.
Yep.
Adelaide now 1-4. They get on the board. Matthew Nix's job is saved.
Top 4 is alive again, boys.
No, it's
4-1. That was loss horrible. Gold Coast beat Hawthorn 109-56. This was a smashing. It wasn't even close. It was
whole
22.
Way through, yeah.
It was 22 of the first quarter, wasn't it? I think there was 30 of the half. And then they just actually went, let's actually smash them. Smashed them.
It was...
Mac Andrew was incredible. He was everywhere.
I love watching it. I said that the other week.
Noah Anderson was
good.
great. Look,
Stupid,
I'm not even looking at notes for
Flanders.
this. I'm just like, Flanders is incredible. They just had dudes
Reed and
everywhere.
Walter like that. They didn't have much of the footy. They kicked a couple of snags each, but it's like yeah, you're going to be really good.
But what about Closey, the SuperCoach, the best pickup ever?
SuperCoach, darling.
What did he have? 18 touches, 2 goals, 8 marks.
One of them he banged through a half post height from 50, and as soon as he kicked it, he just went, "Yep, that's a goal, boys."
It looks like he's been playing for ages. It's his second game.
He's never
awesome.
getting dropped. Dimmer loves him.
Yeah.
I love it. The sort of read now on Hawks though, like I was going to ask this question when we get to North. Are Hawthorn better than they were last year?
No, absolutely not.
They've got a lot of injuries. We understand that, but
they're tracking exactly how they did last year, though, where they were horrible in the first half, and then they might.
But
we still have
they had 2 horrible games at the start of the season, and then they won one. I think they beat North.
Yeah.
So it's like at least they won a game. They look so much worse than last year. It isn't funny. Like 8 players had less than 10 possessions, and it just wasn't a contest.
It wasn't.
It wasn't at all.
Right? Like Gold Coast had so much of the ball. Like I don't actually know. I actually haven't brought up the team stats of like possession time and stuff like that. But
have a look.
366 to 270. That is an
almost
absolute
100 more.
smashing. Like what are we doing here?
And then it would have been 10 plays with 10 touches or less because two Hawks had 10 touches. So it's like it's next week. It sounds dumb, but it's like Hawthorn must win this game because there was more expectations of them coming into the season.
Yeah, Finn McGuinness wasn't.
How was he a forward?
Well, they played him forward and he kicked some goals.
Yeah, mate.
Like,
they usually play him in the midfield, and they're like, "Yeah, go forward,
like,
mate."
The entire vibe going to this was like he'll probably tag Flanders or something, right? And that didn't happen. And then
how many goals? Did he get 3 in the end? Yeah, 3.
Yeah, he kicked 4 goals, 10 before the start of the game.
That's crazy.
I love it. Gold Coast at home, imposing.
That's the thing. They've just got to win all of their home games, and then they've got another 2 against West Coast and North. And if they win those, and maybe 1 or 2 else on the road, they'll play finals.
The other thing is, Gold Coast, I said at the start of the season, I wasn't sure about them making finals. They're just showing that they can smash the lower teams and be at least competitive to the good teams. So they're going.
Like, with this, right, they should win at least 10 games and pick up 1 or 2 here or there, and then they make finals off that. Like, they have to.
But then they always crumble at the end of the season, as they always do. But we'll have to wait and see. Dimmer effect.
I love this idea, though. So, again, I'm just going to start just cursing out North.
Because I've already did that all day today.
So Dimmer and Clarko, we've got 2 very interesting situations where one goes to like a middling club, the other one goes to a bottom rock.
Dimmer's got an easier job at Gold Coast.
Dimmer's got an easier club. They've actually already got a list.
Yeah.
That's fine. But at the same time, my discussion is always going to be, is Clarko, it's really hard to be like a premiership winning coach somewhere and like build your thing, do your entire thing, be awesome, and then literally go somewhere else and do it again.
Because,
it's basically Malthouse and Ron Barassi.
Paul Roos.
Roos, a couple, but very
rare. In every sport.
Roos got the D's to the prelim, and then he left.
Yeah, it's much more likely to be Dennis Pagan than it is to be Mick Malthouse.
Yeah, we should bring him back, I reckon. No, let's not do that.
No. Whereas Dimmer, it sort of seems like, there's actually a little bit of a chance they'd actually really build something. So it's very cool. Good job, Gold Coast. They're 3-2, of course. Hawthorn 0-5, which is the first time I think they've started 0-5.
Ever.
I don't know.
I reckon they were 0-5 the year after they won the flag, the 2000.
Possibly, yeah.
Pretty rough. Right. Good job, Gold Coast. Port Adelaide, Freo. This game was ugly as sin, but also really good. 66-63.
I think it was good because of the closeness, but the game itself was
sloppy, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was gouge your eyes out at times. You're like, what is going on?
That middle part in the third quarter was just like, what is happening? Until was it Burton that banged that one out from outside 50? It's like, yes, something happened.
Also, Freo would just want to get out there as quick as possible. They've led 2 close losses in a row in Adelaide.
They've got no excuses for this one.
No, they had the run of the entire game, right? And then cooked it right at the end.
And then Zach Butters just popped up and went, I'm going to win it.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Charlie Dixon, Jason Hoare-Francis, massive at the end.
Yeah, Dixon had been smashed all game by Pearce, pops up with a big clunk.
Yep. Dixon was also arguing with Ken Hingley on the sideline. Like he's Jason Kelsey.
Travis Kelsey.
The best part was Mark Rashudo, just wanting him to miss that goal. He's like, he's only a 50-50 chance of kicking this. And bang it through the middle, and you could just feel the disappointment.
Yeah.
God, I love Mark Rashudo. But Brayshaw kicked that goal late for Freo, and you're like, I think they might be. Oh, no. And they just still cooked it.
It's so Freo, forward line issues.
Well, Tracy was really good.
Tracy's good.
3 goals.
Jaymz is good. We know that. But
not every week. You're not going to rely.
3 weeks in a row. They've kicked under 70 points. They got 100 against North Melbourne, which really doesn't count because I reckon we could kick 100 against them. And they had that 90 against Brisbane where they just had that mad run when Brisbane were just like, what's happening? So it's like, are Freo real? Are they not?
I don't think they are, but they got within 3 points, I guess.
Yeah, but there's three.
This guy doesn't trust him.
Yeah, you can't trust them.
I said they're pretenders because they almost lost to North. So
they're 3-2, and it's like, what's your vibe on them?
They're very hard to read because obviously 2 really close losses. Those easily could have been wins.
They've got West Coast next week, so you expect them to go back and win that.
Derby.
Oh yeah, the Derby. That's always pretty. Oh wait, not the last couple of years.
I think they won by like 140 last year.
Not the last couple of years.
But it's like they've got and then they play the Western Bulldogs at home in their next 2. So it's like they could be
Dogs are really good over there.
They could be 5-2. Or they could be sort of a 4-3 and you're just like, it feels right.
Yeah, at the moment they look
like a 50-50 team that could finish 7th, could finish 12th.
Here's Luke Ryan, Luke Jackson, like Brayshaw, Sarong and Co.
I suppose when Darcy comes back, this forward line could get help with Jackson going forward.
I don't know if it will hinder it because Jackson will have less like involvement in the game.
Yeah, but it's also like he could be taking clunks around the ground with Darcy as well. So it's like...
Point being, Freo pretenders. Port Adelaide, maybe actually good. The Butters and Rosie show continued, but was it Butters is probably going to get pinged for that?
Clear.
He didn't. He got clear. Nice.
What was that for? Did I see that?
I can't remember. Went for the ball and clipped someone on the way through. He had his...
It was like...
He was over the ball.
Over it
I like that. There was been a couple this weekend.
Matt Crouch got suspended, so it's like, I
think if you've got your whole head over the ball, that's a footy act, you shouldn't be suspended.
Yeah,
of course.
He was going for the ball. He didn't like go in there trying to clean him up.
No,
it's always weird.
It's tough,
But look, JHF was really good towards the end of that game as well, just like man amongst boys. A boy amongst men amongst boys. There we go.
Yeah,
hands
get your head around that.
End of the road. He's a boys to man. That's what he is. It was awesome.
The handsome man was everywhere. God bless him.
God.
Rosie,
Rosie. Amazing game. Really weird game. Dixon, I'm still just worried about, I think, as we've sort of hit on for Freo kicking scores. Port, their offense just looks off the boil so much. Like Dixon was just... Until right at the end was horrible. Toddley Marshall is just like...
Georgiades his second game back after an ACL.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway. Good win, though. You'll take that if you're the power. They are now, I believe, still sitting pretty 4-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great start, yeah.
Freo, randomly now 3-2 after 2 tough losses.
So Port next week.
And there were the 2 barn burners.
Collingwood here.
Collingwood over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go to that game.
Saturday, Arvo.
Oh, no, maybe
Can Port... question? Yeah, nah. Can Port wear their prison bars?
No.
That would be funny. Just both wear just you can't tell who's
spontaneously
Just do it.
combust.
Just do it. Don't ask for permission.
At least we're in the warm-up for a laugh.
Love it.
That'd be great.
The barn burning Sunday, Geelong smashed North Melbourne. Stats boy, 139.64. Wasn't even that close.
No.
And that's not close.
No, that's because we just skip this one.
Close?
Jezza was amazing. Tom Hawkins was late out. I was driving. I was like, oh yes, Tom Hawkins is out. And then I was like, Jezza's just going to dominate anyway. Jezza got 6 goals, 21 touches. He was unbelievable.
And he's going to kick back and watch the Masters. Hang out with the cows.
Yeah, what was he saying? He's not going to sleep tonight. They got no training tomorrow.
Jezza, the Masters coverage doesn't start till 5 a.m.
But he was not going to sleep anyway.
You can go to sleep, brother.
He's not going to sleep anyway. Yeah, this was just over. Well, I say from the start, they got off to a really hot start.
No, it was over 10 minutes in. They kicked 6 goals before
then North
you
kicked the first, North kicked 3 in a row to get it back within a goal around that quarter time mark. And then after that,
it was done like 10 minutes into the second quarter.
We just got too many guys at North, too many dudes that are horrible, that like wouldn't be on a list anywhere else. Like Aiden Core, even Zach Fisher, Stevens has been
dropping Jaden Stevenson as well.
Well, I think that was fair. He's been shocking, but there's been some guys much worse.
I can't look at him in the team speech.
The biggest problem is our defense. We've had about 5 different blokes start at full back now. Other than Comben, no one is being good there.
Help. Who was the bloke that went down late last year with like 2 rounds to go?
Griffin Logue, who I actually do rate. But
that hurts.
It doesn't help.
But it was Bruce free football this game. It was. She's allowed 38 and it's just like, cool.
He did. Every time it came out of him, he would hit a target and then hit another target.
He's classy. He's great. But it's like, great.
It didn't help us.
Like I know he's had 38, but he should not get a vote. It's because he ran around with no one near him.
This was such a perfect game for Geelong. Just like a happy... Last week was pretty tough. We got over the line. Now we're just in an easy one.
Now we're not going to get tackled the whole game. I want to see the stats and tackles actually.
Yeah, I think there was a point where they had like 19 goals. I'm like, how has Ollie Henry not kicked more than 1?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? But they had sort of... It's like this weird
2 or 3.
This weird multifaceted aspect, like Shannon Neal up front. You're like, what is going on?
Nah, he's not it. Shannon Neal will not be.
He kicked 3 goals, but that was because it's against us.
Yeah, but like it was like Mark O'Connor presenting a target as well, like stuff like this. You're like, and then you've still got Ollie Henry and Ollie Dempsey again. Too many Ollies. Just don't know about this, but
I felt for
too many dudes with headbands.
Trying to find.
No, that's the Geelong Carpenters. So they
Yeah, I felt for Sellers as well. North debut, only got one touch. It was starting at like full forward, 10.5 forward.
So like,
I was really sad.
what
about
shows how like bruise free this game was? Sheasel 38, Bailey Scott LDU 27, Tom Powell 26.
Powell was actually really good,
but they're the top 4 possession getters on the ground. And then it's a bunch of Geelong dudes, and it's just like, okay, this...
It shows how well-rounded Geelong are as well. They don't have to rely on anyone getting 30. They can have 5 blokes get over 20.
Who cares? Whatever. West Coast,
Too
Richmond,
good.
what
Too
a
good.
game.
Yeah.
So, to be honest, Geelong
Gone really well.
and 5-0.
Back to their form from 2 years ago.
Looking
Jim.
amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe
They've had a soft draw to start, which really
I
helps.
know,
But,
exactly.
But that's because they finished 12th last year. They played West Coast and North Melbourne twice, I think. So they're set up to run into the finals again.
Top 2, let's go. West Coast, Richmond, West Coast. Love this. I don't know, there's only one person on this show who picked West Coast who had the stones, the cojones, the size of Uluru to go out and pick the West Coast Eagles.
Someone in our tipping cop changed yesterday.
It was your mate, Jim.
I'll have a look at the ladder where Jim is on the ladder.
109.
Still behind me.
Yeah, probably still
I'm
above,
still leading.
probably above me.
Really? I've gone perfect and I've just picked up 2 this week. I'm just
You
saying.
only picked one up on me, though.
You didn't pick Essendon.
Yeah, but I changed to West Coast, so I got 5 and you got 6.
He changed. Not on the show, though.
As I said, not on the show. That
There's
doesn't
no
count.
proof. There's no proof.
no proof because you did not tweet it out. You did not put it on the
I don't
Facebook.
have access to the Twitter account.
Either way,
This looked bad really early for West Coast.
this was
Yeah, I thought Richmond were going to run over
I was
him,
like,
yeah.
I hate everything that I've done, and I blame Jim.
brother-in-law Billy and I were sitting there watching this one, and we'd both actually tipped West Coast. So like, you tipped them as well? Oh, they're cooked. And we both said that.
Richmond kicked the first 4. They
And it
looked
was
like they
it.
were going to win by 100.
Yeah.
You're like, this is horrible because Richmond know how to play football, and West Coast apparently, hang on a second, they've kicked a few. This is close.
All the outs for Richmond.
And then,
yeah.
boom, Tim Taranto was laid out, an out yesterday.
He's broken his wrist.
And
He's going in for scans, yeah.
No, I
it
think he's
got
broken.
worse
yeah.
and worse and worse and worse for Richmond to the point where by the 4th quarter, they just had just no one out there doing much. Dusty went MIA. It was like he kicked a goal late and you're like, that's their first goal in half an hour.
I know.
What is happening? This is gross.
West Coast, after those first 4 goals kicked by Richmond, kicked 15 of the next 18.
Is that good?
That's amazing, especially for West Coast. They haven't done that in years.
I'm saying for Richmond, is that good?
Oh,
no, that's bad.
Of course not, yeah.
Yeah, no.
You hate to see it.
Waterman was a part of that. 6 goals
Did say
too.
that after they rolled this one. I was like, that's great. You had your win. Now it's going to get bad.
Yeah.
Jakey Waterman was
The water
fantastic.
boy, he was
Yeah.
awesome, yeah.
Tim Kelly was everywhere. So Elliot Yeo probably gets the
Yo!
3 votes.
I love watching him. If he didn't get injured every 3 weeks, he would be up there with the
Holy
superstars.
crap, Harley Reid had 27.
27 and a goal.
He was great,
I
yeah.
think he
Fantastic.
might get the rising star this year, Perth people. So
This week?
and
This week.
this year. So
Yeah,
He's finally actually
Yeah.
eligible to win the Rising Star Award. I love that. But this was the Jake Waterman show for most
he
of
was
this, right?
amazing.
So 6 goals, it was incredible.
6-2.
He also sprayed a few where I don't think he made the distance on like 2 shots. He put 1 out on the full.
His legs were tight. He
And
hasn't
it's
had
like,
that many
this is
shots.
great. He's like, what am I doing?
That's the most shots he's had in 2 years.
He's my type of forward. He had 18 possessions, 16 kicks.
And he also
Nice.
looks like Fraser Gehrig.
Yeah, he does too.
What, just because of the hair?
Yes,
You
just
reckon?
because of the hair.
Yeah, the
All
mullet,
he
yeah.
needs is a glove and to tuck his shirt in and pull the shorts
And
up
to
a bit higher.
eat a big pie at Marvel Stadium.
Yeah.
That photo always makes me laugh.
But basically, Richmond stink. Right.
I said this a few
I don't
weeks
think
ago.
so. I don't think that. They just got so many injuries. Their team's not that bad.
Okay, so they're not going to have those players for the next however long.
Oh,
so
so
gonna
they will
lose,
stink, yeah.
So they're going to lose a lot of games, therefore they stink.
I think if they had all the players, they'd be fine. Yeah.
Yes, but if your mother had, she'd be your...
What's that thing? If grandmother had a wheels, she'd be a bike. What's that guy that always says that?
Will Richmond beating Sydney go down as the biggest upset this season?
No, because it was literally Adelaide beating
Yes.
Carlton.
Yes, but it's up there.
As far as odds were concerned, Adelaide were bigger
no, but
outsiders.
Adelaide are a lot better than
No,
Richmond.
if we get to the end of the season and like Richmond 1-17 or something,
We can all laugh at that.
And it's like, hang on a second, who'd they beat? Sydney.
What,
What is
I
going
suppose that's like
It's like
GW.
Adelaide will be good. Like we understand that
It's
Adelaide
like West
aren't
Coast beating
horrible.
GWS in round 2 last year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Same sort of
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah.
Nice one. Good job, West Coast. You're
They're
on
back.
the board.
Oh.
I love that.
So now
Your
it's just
song is still horrendous.
yeah. Why did they change that song?
it back.
I know.
Point being, when I tip you, we're all good.
Are you going to tip him again or just one
when
and
you
done?
tip West Coast, you've got a great strike rate.
I love this.
That Western Bulldogs game last year.
I don't know. He's been quietly on West Coast too many weeks. Like he was like, it's going to be a lot of close games. and all
Galaxy
this stuff. But he got it this week. He's going to get it
Come on,
eventually.
man. This is like, the what is this? Stop clocks right twice a day.
Yeah, broken clock.
Broken clock's not. Yeah, like
Love that. No, seriously, like I tipped them against Western Bulldogs last year, nailed that one. And then this one, I don't know if I've tipped
last year. We're going back to tips from last year.
But that was only
going
like
on?
6 games ago. So.
So tipping results from this week, I got 6. Alex reckons he got 5, but he said on the show he's got 4. We're going to hold him to what he said on the show, unless it's an official change across the social channels.
Okay, I'll remember that if we want to change the tip.
Stats guy's going to change all of his tips like a minute before the game.
I'm a believer in never changing my tips because I used to always do that. And
so I'm right. That's a note. They're actually 4 for
checks our ladder.
Full credit to the boys. Best team in the round.
West Coast. I'm going West Coast.
I'm saying Port. I thought the way that they managed to dig deep and find that win was pretty ridiculous. Brisbane obviously winning in Melbourne was very impressive as well, but that was also just like Melbourne looked really bad. And randomly Brisbane have the wood over them. So I think Port at home sneaking out that win against Freo, who were just like desperate to win.
And they didn't look like they were going to win at all.
To snatch that from the jaws of defeat.
Yep.
They actually snagged it. Whereas Adelaide, look, I feel like there was more an indictment on how bad Carlton were than how good Adelaide were.
I've just chucked Adelaide in here just because they really needed to win that.
You just want to give it to Jim.
And that, I just thought it was fun. I got a few Carlton mates that were really not happy at all. So I'm going Adelaide. I think that just to get the win on the board and get a bit of confidence and beating Carlton. No one thought they were going to beat Carlton. Yeah. They did get lucky because Carlton did kick very inaccurately. But to stay in that game with Sam Berry, that was very exciting, and that's my team of the round.
Nice one. I think, so my point about like Carlton losing that more than Adelaide winning, it's like they played exactly to their weaknesses.
It's literally St Kilda against Essendon a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Very similar. Righto. And you said West Coast.
I've said West Coast. Well, they kicked 15 of 18 goals at one point.
That's their highest score in a long time as well. Yeah.
Like, they've got to get it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Best on ground of the week. Who was the best performer? I just love seeing Sam's. Sam Taylor, good luck to him. Actually, when they were giving the updates, like it's like, right, he's conscious, he's in the ambo, he's gone to the hospital.
It was gross seeing. Thank God they never showed the replay. Those eyes open, like, oh man, that's
I didn't see that, and I was like, I'm not searching for that replay.
If you've seen Chucky, that.
But Sam Walsh just returns and goes, I'm really good.
So when Sam Walsh has missed like the last string of games that he's missed, Carlton are unbeaten. With Sam Walsh in, they've got a less than 50% record.
He's the problem. Even though he got 34 touches and about 10 clearances.
When Sam Walsh is out, they're like 6-0, and with him in, I think it's like they're 6 of 13.
Yeah, he had 34 touches. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying.
It is funny though.
That's pretty funny.
The other thing about Sam Walsh, he actually won the clearances. Is that the first time this year?
I said the clearance game would be back.
So although you lost, in the future you're like, Sam Walsh will help us.
That's kind of it. It's like I think a lot of the big problems they had were just like all the other.
We couldn't kick straight.
And like, again, it was like a lot of the problems that we saw last year where you go, not being able to hit a target when you go forward just stinks. And sort of you're bombing it in, just going, our small forwards. This is the Jack Martin corollary, actually.
He injured himself again. So
once, like, his presence changes their entire forward structure because you don't have, like, the likes of Owies and Dirt and just causing all sorts of havoc and stinking it up. To the point where you're like, can we please get Motlop back? Like, can we just have something?
Yeah, you need something like that, for sure.
It is brutal. Anyway, Sam Walsh, though, I just loved having him back. Warper, off we go. Stats boy?
Chucky Cameron. I know his stats might not jump off the page of some other ones, but he changed the game against Melbourne.
That's
3
a really
goals,
good point. I think
17
his
disposals.
second goal, I think, was just the one where he's just like, they're going to win this.
Anytime he hits the ground, he was just there. He's the best crummer in the competition. 3 goals to 17 disposals. 9 marks for a small forward is awesome as well. He was the game changer and the reason Brisbane won, I think. So
Jack Martin's still a month away, by the way.
That's right.
Ooh, okay. There you go.
Right for the back half of the season.
Like last year.
Oh, God. Your best on ground of the week, Alex?
Jake Waterman kicking 6 goals.
The Water boy, get around him.
He wrote that before I could, so I was spewing.
He kicked you 6 goals. I'm like, Waterman, bang.
He was awesome.
He was fantastic. It's exactly what they need as well. It's a really fun story. Will Schofield was saying, he's had a rough run of it when it comes to his health stuff. Obviously, he was really sick.
He was very He was, last year. He was considering leaving the Eagles too.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because the way it all sort of came out, it wasn't great.
Old mate, no mates. Who's got no mates this week? Well, that'd be Matt Owies. Because, no mates on the goal line. And then no mates because he completely fresh air. Well, he didn't fresh air, but he stubbed his toe kicking what could have been the sealer, which is the exact goal of the Carlton. Carlton kicked that. They
is he going to be out this week with sore toe?
If he did that in the A-League, that would be on the peak A-League page.
Yeah, it would. It would actually. We need a peak AFL.
Did you see the lights go out last night?
No. That's similar, to the
check that out.
Same with football today. But Owies, like to the point where when you walk out of a game and you just hear like a certain word, Owies. Owies.
You mean Owies, or are you saying Owies today?
Owies. And he's like, the poor dude is just copping it left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
Deservedly, because I think there was a couple of times, especially the Crows snaps for goal, like from Rankine, Rochelle, whatever. But just some of their snaps, I think we also had maybe an Acres snap that just fell meters short.
Yeah.
There was another one later on, short again. And you're just like, just kick it through. Just kick it through really high.
Kicking straight is good footy,
And you're like, what are you doing, mate? You had more time than you thought. You cooked it, sucked in. You don't want to say one player cost you a game, but to have basically 2 goals rubbed out because of you, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
Matt Owies. Stats boy.
Jake Stringer.
This was so funny.
He is the most selfish player in the competition. I can't stand. Oh wait, this is all mate, no mates. But I can't stand him as well. We could put it into both segments. He's standing in the goal square after he got a free kick. Langford goes, "No, mate, I'm just going to kick the goal." He didn't even celebrate with his own teammate, and he death stared him. You're such a flog, Jake Stringer. What the hell? He literally death stared his teammate,
This is great.
and instead of he's like, "You got to handball to me because I'm Jake Stringer and I'm the package and I'm a flog." But like, your teammate kicked the goal. Get around him. Don't worry about the team. So
That's the
don't
most
like him.
animated I think we've ever seen.
To be fair, if you just talk about Jake Stringer, I get animated. That's probably the only
except for
one.
that
I
time
can't
he
stand
had
him.
like 15 shots at the Christmas party and called our boss Pitbull. That was great.
Yeah.
But no,
Nothing wrong with
that was
an amazing
like,
moment.
when Stringer wins the free kick, Langford just has the balls like,
Yeah.
oh,
I'll
goal.
kick it.
Like, but just
if you're a team player, you just kick the goal and you don't worry about it.
But he honestly didn't think about it. He just kicked the goal, and then Stringer's just like, dude.
Yeah, but you're supposed to start.
But because it was Jake Stringer, made it so fun.
The best part was how they stitched them up in the combo interview after the game.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what do you think about that?
It was
He's
a bit
like,
awkward.
It was fine.
That's why it's old mate no
it
mates.
was
They're like,
okay. It
this
was
is a bit
definitely
awkward.
They both hate each other now. So
Yeah, that's old mate no mates.
nice one. Alex, old mate, no mates.
We haven't talked about him.
Yeah. I'm just going to leave it there. I don't need to elaborate on it.
Luke Beveridge.
I've got him in the next part as well.
Copying it from all angles. And it's like, yeah, it checks out for really good reasons. Like, they've just been bad. He's been bad.
Like,
they stink.
Someone tried to say he's had success everywhere he's been for 27 years. I'm like, okay, he's won 1 flag and made 1 other grand final. Like, I wouldn't call 2 good years out of 9 success.
I think when you underachieve with a list that is this top heavy and you go, but you got to look at their bottom 6. It's like sometimes you don't actually.
I don't think their bottom
that
6
was,
even
that was my argument. I was like, you've got one of the most talent-laden forward lines in the league and you literally can't kick a score. You've got the best midfielder in the competition, arguably the best ruckman,
is up in the top
and
5
arguably
probably.
the best clearance midfielder in the comp as well. How can you not win games of footy?
Yeah. Fair enough.
Makes no damn sense.
Yep.
Make it make sense. Why I can't stand.
I know what this will be.
Well, this one's easy. Beautiful day, Saturday afternoon in Melbourne, I'll tell you.
Pretty good,
It was a
wasn't it,
beautiful day.
actually?
It was. Just beautiful.
It's outside watching the race.
So why are we playing indoor footy? Why is it indoors? Just playing it in a big shed. Let's just kick a footy around in a shed. It's beautiful outside. Absolute stunning.
It was.
April weather for Melbourne. Why is the roof shut? Open the roof. God. It shouldn't take this. Look, I understand the 4:30. This is perfect and beautiful though, because Aussie rules football is an outdoor game, stats boy. We've
already had this conversation.
There's no roof on like
I don't agree with
I know what he's yelling about.
Brunswick
so I'm
Street
just like-
Oval.
I
There's
know
nothing there. I'm just
fair.
played outside to the point where I feel like it was almost to the detriment of both teams, Carlton and Adelaide. Saturday afternoon, it was like weirdly warm inside the dome. You've talked about this before,
Yeah,
Stats.
It does get really hot and
like
humid
the ball
in there.
was slipping everywhere.
Yeah.
To the point where Carlton had multiple, like across the entire game, they stunk at actually their disposal efficiency. But it just looked really slippery. And I'm like, you know what? When this wouldn't happen? If the roof was open, the roof that you have that you never open the roof, please. Alex.
Well, good exhale there.
Yeah, okay. I don't need to yell about it, but the 2 Saturday night games starting at the same time. Scheduling. Like, we had free time today. Could have started the North Melbourne game at 12, could have started the next one at 3, and then you could have started this West Coast game at 6 o'clock, which is still 4
I'll give you that.
o'clock local
Just
time.
give us Sunday night football.
But just don't overlap footy. And the fact that halftime was at the same time, it's like they forgot daylight savings. It ended. It was just like, it's halftime in Port and Watsy. I'll change the channel.
It's like Dicko chatting to like Brad Johnson.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't footy.
Well,
What's happened?
Who's gone, I really want Gold Coast versus Hawthorn on a Saturday night? No one has said that ever.
But it's just like, I know you've got to play games, but it's just like, don't overlap games of footy because a lot of people just want to watch footy.
We've got so many days where we can just stretch it out.
Like we've got
Feed me footy. I don't need them at the same time.
And for the first 3 to 4 rounds, it was perfect. We didn't have any overlap until last week, and it sucked.
Give us Sunday night football.
Give us Monday night football.
Don't care. Stats boy, what can't you stand?
Oh, just supporting North Melbourne. I will never, ever change because I love my family and we always go for North Melbourne.
I respect that.
Today was the first time ever going into a game where I was like, I don't really want to watch it. Like, ever. Like, I know we've been bad for the last 4 years, but I'll still go, I'm a bit excited. Let's watch this, watch that. Nothing was exciting me about this game. Going into play Geelong, I don't feel confident at all against Hawthorn, who are probably supposed to be about equal to us. It's just a really frustrating time to be a North Melbourne supporter, and I wish I wasn't that as passionate about it as I am because today was very frustrating being a North supporter. That's why I can't stand. But I will never change team.
I've already hit my Clarko point about the Mick Malthouse corollary.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, I'm going to keep asking. And this one, I threw this one to brother-in-law Billy. Are they better than they were 12 months ago?
No, which is ridiculous. Yeah, that's the part that's killing me, yeah.
Clarko was in charge those first few weeks last, and then took his unexplained sabbatical.
Yes.
And somehow they're worse now.
Yeah.
And it's worrisome. Like, I think we saw for the first probably, 7 or 8 weeks last year, they had a couple of pretty tough. They won 2 games.
Well,
and
we
they
had
were also
about
very close losses.
probably 7 or 8 games last year where it was under 2 goals, and we're like, all right, at least we probably should have beaten Sydney that game, and then we came off. Like, we should have beaten some big teams. I don't see us even beating Hawks. The only team I'm like, maybe we can beat is West Coast at the moment.
No.
And it's just very frustrating.
Harley Reid's going to have 40 against you.
I think that would be a bit of an ask because you know what North's percentage is right now?
We have had one of the hardest draws. I will say that. We've played all of the good teams.
Shut up.
All right, Carlton never done much.
I haven't got the ladder up. 52.
56.5.
Damn it.
56. At least it's
Hawthorn a 17th and a 64.8. That is a big jump. That is very bad.
Anyway, I wanted to get that out. I haven't talked about my sadness for North that much, so got to get it out there.
Clarko, overrated. All right. SuperCoach wash from this week. We had some really, really big scores.
Some really horrible scores too.
Rough ones too. I love this. My man, Noah Anderson. God, I love him. He has just saved me so many times. Jezza Cameron, if I had him in draft, that was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very.
You've still been beaten.
I still got smashed, but it doesn't matter. But in terms of the other big performances, Rosie and Butters actually managed to have the massive game at the same time, which is always
rare.
Nice. Jack Steele showing up.
I brought him in
massively.
this week. He was really cheap, I think, for what he's been doing this year. What did he get? 143. That's awesome.
And my favourite one, the Cheezel.
Yeah.
Ripped off 159 against the Cats.
The Closey, 124 against
Closey, that's fantastic.
102. He's the cheapest guy in the whole game, and he's ripping off 120s.
I love it.
Sam Walsh, 166 in his first game back as well. Love that. And, of course, Maximus Aurelius Gornicus.
Oh, so good.
Son of a murdered father. Legend of the Melbourne Football Club. 138 back on Thursday
and
night.
Then everyone just...
VC.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Bang.
Perfect.
Everyone who had a Bond captain who got 73 points was immediately vindicated.
Yeah.
But I think the thing, the Gold Coast midfield, they... against Saints, I think so. Took Miller into 133. Rao had 135, and Noah Anderson had 155.
It's prime Bulldogs SuperCoach there because you go, should I get Took? Should I get Rao? Oh, they're all going to score 120. So you're all good.
Petrarca ended up with 59.
Reid, Harley Reid, his highest score ever, 108. So
he had 27 touches.
A lot of people would have been getting rid of him, but he's getting up and up.
I held solid.
Yeah. He can average around 80.
It is a weird one, but look, with Riley Sanders sort of getting subbed out,
but
that was a tough one.
46 with a break even of 8.
That's okay. You had Colby McKercher have a stinker as well before
he went off
getting
injured.
subbed and injured. Well,
he went off injured very early. Yeah.
That was a tough one.
Jai Clark with
2.
As a sub.
Not ideal.
It wasn't a good Sunday for me.
All right. But
Project Get Errol is in some trouble at the moment.
Nice. Oh, I know.
Check out all things SuperCoach, the official SuperCoach podcast.
Yes.
Which I am on. Sitting there going, God, I finally lost to Al. Anyway, but that'll do us for AFL Today for this week until Wednesday. So for today, that is it for AFL Today. Thank you to Alex and Statsboy for swinging in for a Sunday night sesh.
Thank you. This. Good fun.
Yeah, cheers.
I can't believe that none of us are winners this week.
Oh,
But at the same time, I can, because Alex didn't get a win.
Well,
We both
yeah.
lost.
You're all losers.
Yeah, we're
That's all
losers.
right.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
Tough one.
I'll cop it. Not having to stress this weekend was.
Can we have a bye, North, or something?
No.
Is that possible? We don't
I'll tell
need
you
one.
what.
Every weekend that you play is a bye.
No, I'm actually excited to play Hawthorn.
the other
And the Swans have got Gold Coast this week in Sydney, so this is where you can yell about Dimmer being a fraud away from home.
Ooh.
Nice one. All right, remember, smash a like across all of the social for AFL Today. You can find it Sports Today Show on Facebook. That is what? IG, X, TikTok, all the good stuff. Of course, YouTube. Watch it, like, subscribe, and star it, and all of our other shows as well. Cricket Today Podcast, Football Today Podcast, NBA Australia, NFL Australia. Hold all tickets.
Hold on, Tickets had a very big weekend.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Tipping
Nice
up
one.
a storm.
Anyway, get around all of them like Tony Modra on a skied ball in 1994.
Yes.
Ah, bring it
There.
back.
Bang. Love that.
The long locks.
Oh, we could actually mention Jamari Ugle-Hagan with the one-handed snag.
That was nice. He almost got Mark of the Year,
grabbed.
another one.
Almost grabbed.
But he got another one-hander as well.
God,
He needs to fix his kicking technique. When he kicks for goal. No,
Look how serious he is. He's like, he needs to be serious about his footy. Just kick the goals, Jamari.
no, that's what I
love
mean.
it.
He leans back and to the left. It's why the football keeps going. Bow.
Yeah.
I love his vibe, though. He's just like,
Oh, yeah.
He's so fun to watch.
dude's trying to fight. He was like, come on, try and fight me. I'll fight you. Anyway, that's it. We'll catch you later this week for more AFL Today. Until then, look after yourselves. And remember, footy's back. If you like this show, make sure you check out all the other shows on the Sports Today network, from the AFL Today Show to the Cricket Today podcast, the Football Today podcast, as well as NBA Australia and NFL Australia. With Sports Today, your sporting needs have never been easier to cover.